Showtime. Hi, everybody in Facebook land, and welcome to all you who are here tonight. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. This is actually a class I've been dreaming about for a long time, and I always wondered how I was going to actually get it pulled off. But it's really neat. Actually, in fall this past year, I had a chance to meet Johnson Miller, who's actually here to talk tonight, and I got to know him and his family, which is Adrian and Johnny and Benny and Heidi and Haley and Juliet. Yes, they are great, great, great folks. And so I'm always impressed whenever I meet somebody who actually does something well and then also does it in a unique way. And so when we talked about his cleaning business, I'm like, hey, that's a cool thing. I said, would you be willing to do something in our office? Because as you know, this year we've had a big focus in the first half of the year on chemical stress in our lives. There's three main ways that we affect our health in a negative way, especially subluxations. One is physical stress, which is understandable, right? I slept wrong, I fell down the stairs, I started a new sport, whatever it is. Number two would be mental stress or emotional stress. That'll affect our health. No, there's no question about that. But the one that people sometimes overlook is chemical stress, right? So, and there's probably never been an era in which more things can get at us that way than ever before. There's an article, if you want to see it sometime, I'll show it to you, where they did a study of, because if you want to see where it starts in early in life, it'd be with kids. And so they've taken umbilical cords from 5 parts of our country. They spread out between like California, Michigan, New York, Florida, and I think it was Texas. And they showed actually these umbilical cords contain over 200 contaminants that would be considered incompatible with human health. And they're seeing it at that young of an age. The mom's getting it through their skin or food or water or whatever it is. And so it's getting passed on to the kids. And so I thought, let's talk about this topic because it's a big one there too. So um, this talk seemed like a natural fit for our office. And I asked, and Johnson accepted, which is great to be here. So I'll let him tell you about actually what his reason and his passion behind what he does in his life and his family and also with his business too. And so for Lucky, he might share a dad joke with us or two as well, which is pretty exciting. Okay, let's give him a nice turning point. Welcome, Johnson Miller.
Thank you. Yes, how good. Well, I want to say thank you to Dr. Lynn, Brenda, Aaron, Brooke, the whole Turning Point team, because it's quite an honor to be here. I'm not cool like they are. I don't have letters after my name besides DAD, you know, and that's about it. So I'm really honored. I don't have years of education and diplomas to show anything. But my wife and I were homeschooled, so a little background there, and we're homeschooling our kids. And I love teachers, and public school is great when there's good stuff taught. I'm not here to knock that. Um, so I think my presentation basically is going to walk us through our background, so I'll probably jump right into that. Before I go into it, I wanted to have a slide basically talking about our logo there. I'll start off also by saying uh, I'm going to say my beliefs during this presentation. If they may not represent everyone's beliefs, I understand that. I fully respect that. If you disagree with me, I'm going to say some things that are maybe not the most agreeable things to discuss in a family or public environment. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm not asking you to agree. So we're going to be outspoken about my faith. We love Jesus Christ. I'm looking forward to heaven. Earth is a strange place the more you think about it. And this is our logo here. You can't quite see all of it. It's a kind of a alpha omega shape, beginning and end. That was kind of the idea behind the loop above it. We reference a couple different verses. Revelation 22:14, Jesus said, "Blessed are those who wash their robes." And kind of a quick reference on that. My understanding is he's talking about blessed are those who obey his commandments. So we want to be doing what Jesus says. Proverbs 22 references washing clean. That's kind of a reference to the river of the water of life. The logo, Revelation chapter 22 talks about John in his revelation saw the throne of God, which, it's not the sun right there. That's supposed to be the throne of God, so bright and beautiful we can't really even take it in. And the river of the water of life is supposed to be flowing from the throne of God, and it's surrounded on either side by the tree of life, which yields its fruit, 12 different fruits for 12 different seasons. And its leaves, it says, are for the healing of the nations. So I take peace in that because the nations need some healing. Just turn on the news. We all need some healing. Even if we don't even look beyond our borders, America needs healing. Everyone else does too. So I'm looking forward to that. Man, no more night, no more pain, no more suffering. We won't talk about subluxations. We won't talk about chemicals or cancer or anything like that there. So little background on the logo, and then we'll just dive right into this and talk a little bit about where we come from, because, I could just tell you about natural cleaners, but I'd like to tell you why I believe in them first. So let's just dive right into that, see if the clicker works anywhere. There it does. Hey, this is our crummy stove. This week, now I'm going to give you an excuse as to why it looks that bad. I am sorry. I am busy cleaning everyone else's house. and we are busy teaching these 5 wonderful children. And if company's coming over, then I try and clean it. Look, I cleaned it. Check that out. And that's with no chemicals. If my kids get under my sink and drink stuff, I don't worry about it. Do I want them doing that? No. Of course, nobody wants their kids under the sink. But we don't have any chemicals. I don't lose sleep if a 2-year-old gets into the sink or anywhere else. So we'll talk more about that. I know I didn't clean the front of it. Stop looking at that. Uh, we're looking at the top of it. Thank you, Dr. Lynn. We'll go to the next one. So before we talk about cleaning, we're going to get some more backstory. I led, not too many years ago, a more normal life. I was just, dad. We were different because we homeschooled, but I worked a few blocks from home at this pet food facility. That was fun. Like, easy. Clock in. We were all friends, and we made pet food, and we'd go home. It was really great. My buddy and I, we were good friends, and we would cook breakfast and lunch and dinner in our break room. I had a griddle, and we cooked all the time. And basically, food got us through our 12-hour shift. So I would get home, and this we can't quite see it. It's not quite fitting in there, but I said that we homeschool our 5 kids, and I would make pet food and clock out, and we would enjoy time with family and friends. And when I would get home, I would annoy my wife and embarrass her, and you can see she can't resist me. Look at that. It's a sign of love right there. Can't resist me. We'll skip that. So life was simple and beautiful. Go home and be with family and then go back to work. It was a great schedule, a lot of time off. Something changed. Can you guess what it was? There's no wrong answer. Somebody guess. I'd love to hear. Someone who thought they'd trip somebody. Can you guess what went wrong? What went different? Well, that's a very good guess. We had that happen this year. That's not what I'm referencing. We did have one of our kids break a leg, and I'm not thankful for the broken leg. But I am thankful for what happened after that because it brought us to Turning Point Chiropractic. And we have seen night and day differences with our kids. And we are so thrilled. We live 70 miles out of town and happily make the trip here to get the beautiful results. Um, so, Chad, I don't know why you're covering your mouth. Okay. He's guessing right. 2020 happened. We all started running from each other and hoarding toilet paper. Okay. And you can't see it, but in that picture it says, I bet in the future we'll have flying cars. But in 2020, no, we were hoarding toilet paper. And it was depressing. I mean, in so many different ways. And so we'll move on from that because you all know the story on that. This photo sort of represents how I felt. This was right in the wake of things. We were seeing the news of China and fear and all that stuff. And someone was burning a field nearby, and we were having this beautiful evening. And it just in the background just felt like that. Is that the future? Darkness. We're raising our kids, and it was all scary. And so that's kind of how I felt. Society was frightened, and it seemed like decisions were being made that affected a lot of people who weren't asked if they liked those decisions or restrictions. Case in point, before boarding the plane, we must stay so far apart. Boom, 30 minutes later on the plane, we're shoulder to shoulder. Something wasn't adding up, and it just raised questions in my mind, and so I just didn't feel comfortable with that. Side note that I didn't include in this presentation, I watched the news pretty closely. December of 2019 is when the news started to hit that China had this new virus, and they said in their headlines that this new virus was causing people to writhe in pain as they died and they were bleeding from their eyes. I saw that one time and then never more. And I think that was there to just kind of get people talking, and then we stopped talking about it. That's just my opinion. That was a headline, and never saw that again. So that because I quit seeing that, I was like, was that just a come on or what? I don't know why that happened, but legit bleeding from the eyes, and then it just stopped. So this was Essential, a liquor store, and you know where I'm going. This was closed. And I would ask you guys, do you remember police breaking up church services? Yeah, there's videos of that. And that started to hit home for me as a believer, a follower of Christ, because it says in Hebrews, let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together. Now, obviously, if we had a terrible thing and people were quickly dying from something, we would need to operate with love and common sense not to get together. But something wasn't adding up. I didn't feel good about not getting together, especially when I saw one of the big mainstream reporters on the nightly news say, with a smile on. He said it with a smile. I bet the Christians can't get together for Easter this year. He's smiling, like, what's that? So this is my workplace. Things started changing at work. This was starting to be required, and I'm not going to go totally into the why I didn't like it, but I didn't like it. Then they started to talk about maybe we're going to have to move towards this. Maybe you can only work here if you have a vaccination card. Okay, I'm not really super comfortable with that. They even had a $50 gift card. Like, Why do we need to incentivize it? This is the way to go. Respect if you get vaccinated. I just didn't want it. And I don't like someone telling what everyone should do. So move on from there. These are not my coworkers, but I used a stock photo to kind of show us together. Look how happy we are. It's not us. Okay. So the majority of my coworkers and myself, we were not comfortable with an injection that we didn't want. We didn't chastise the others who were comfortable with it. Full respect to them. That's fine. But for us, we felt like we might lose our job if we fought back or at least voiced our opinions. We didn't want to fight or anything. So yeah, so I did have elderly friends who did get vaccinated, and was it the vaccine? I can't prove it. I'm not a cool doctor with letters after my name to tell you that it was, but some people I know did pass away unexpectedly. Uh, so decide for what you like for yourself, but don't force others against their will. We don't want to do that. So that's me. My nickname is the Chihuahua. I may be a shrimpy Chihuahua, but I will fight for my beliefs. Okay. All right. So I'm getting to cleaning. I promise I'm getting there. I just got to give you the backstory. So I created something that my coworkers and I could do to unite anonymously. We felt like maybe if we didn't let them know who individually didn't want to get vaccinated, we might not lose our jobs. So what I did is I created a unique email address, and then my buddy sitting in the back, Chad over there, he drove me around the plants in his car, so no one would recognize me because it was a day and a night shift. And we dropped leaflets. We put them under windshield wipers. We put them in gas caps. We put them under office doors. And we said, hey, if you don't want to get vaccinated or you're not comfortable with where this is going, send us an email and we can all unite and we can shut the plant down if we have to. And it was really crazy because within a week, the leaflets helped. A memo was sent out from our CEO stating that they would be considering floor personnel's concerns and investigating all options to meet everyone's wishes. It sounded kind of wishy-washy, but it was a result. And I also heard later a lot of people got called to human resources and kind of accused, did you put those leaflets around? And if you don't get to know me well, like HR, they didn't know me very well. I just seem like a quiet guy who just wants to go to work and go home. But they never figured out it was me, and there were some people who were kind of accused of it. Yeah, now they will. They do know about it, so that's okay. So that was really interesting, and I say that because suddenly my friends at work who were really down and dark feeling about this started smiling, and we started talking about it. We felt a little more united, and people started talking about how they agreed with it. So there's that. Things slowly started cooling off around the world. It didn't at all feel like it was still burning down. I never said this is fine like that, but I wondered what would be the next crazy thing to challenge my belief at work. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. We don't have a second income. Working at the pet food plant, I'm not making huge money. We've always kind of minded our P's and Q's, but in the back of my mind, okay, if I have something that challenges my beliefs, I'm going to go for my beliefs come you know what or high water. So I started thinking about it. What could we do? Could we work for ourselves? That was the thought process. So I thought that our employer, based on what I'd been through and seen, might cave to more mandates, and I was not okay with just hoping for a respectful workplace. So here's my wife. She can't resist me again. Look at that. Long story short, I told my wife, who can't resist me, I want to quit my job and I want to detail cars in a population of 400 people. Well, like 600 in town, and the county's all rural, a few more out of town. She said, you're nuts. There's not enough cars to detail. And she's basically right. But I said, hey, I want to be mobile. So we're going to drive to people's places. And we live right on the border of Kansas. And you know what? It actually, there was a lot of demand. Part of that was we didn't charge enough at first. So everyone was like, hey, get the cheap guy. So there's that. We're getting there. I promise. There's more to the story. We launched our cleaning service. We gained experience when I wasn't working at the pet food place. Within a few months, we had a customer base large enough to meet our income requirements. Because remember, we weren't living on much anyway. And then I didn't burn bridges with the pet food place. And they told me, hey, if the cleaning thing doesn't work out, you can come right back. Yeah, I still technically can be called in, but they forgot about it, thankfully. So, okay. Despite my persona of excellence, which I'm joking, I don't have one, and my dapper appearance, I've had my share of troubles. This is the next segue into this, I promise, okay? I'm not going to bore you with too many details, but I've had some pretty serious reactions to toxins in my life, and there have been some low points. Okay, some details. I was on a medication for a condition for many years, and my condition got worse. And the medication had antifreeze in it. What's the actual term for antifreeze? Propylene glycol. Okay. Uh, After some serious prayer, research, and a big diet change, I went from having serious discomfort where I couldn't even work to zero symptoms. And they even tested me again for the hereditary genetic condition that I had and said, hey, you test negative. So praise God for that because I couldn't work and it was very painful. So I went to no more meds, no more pain, and all from some simple but major changes. And so we thought, hey, if this natural lifestyle can help me this much, maybe we can bring something similar to others. And I want to quote Psalm 34. It says, "This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles." And God's done that more times than I even know about. When there's been times where we've had work lined up, and we really need that job, and they cancel. And then even in the last week, somebody calls up and says, hey, I really would love for you to come and clean my car. Like, can you do it today? Yep, be right there. It's all good. So there's that. All right. So based on our research, auto detail could easily expose me to lots of toxins. That's one thing we talked about. I don't want to do this if I'm going to get sick from lots of chemicals. Remember, I had been sick by exposure. I don't want to get back to being sick. And detailers with many years of experience cautioned me, hey, be careful with the chemicals. Wear your gloves. It's a real thing. And so we decided we'd try and do natural detailing. That's basically all I'm saying there. And so people started to ask, hey, can you clean houses too? And I want to say, yes, we can do that. Terrible coated, with all kinds of calcium buildup, we can make it look like that with no toxins. You don't need to wear gloves. You don't need to wear a mask. You can drink the stuff and you might not feel super good, but you're not going to go to the hospital. So we can do that. And it shocks everyone when I do that. It's a beautiful thing. So why? Maybe you ask why. We want to need a little more details as to why. What risks do you run if we don't use natural cleaners? And here we go. We're going to look at this. You can't read this. I put this picture in there because this is Chad. Last night I asked Chad, hey, you want to see my presentation? He said no. So just to mock him, I put a picture of him playing dead by a fox by the highway. Sorry. He's my best friend, so I'm just playing with him. Let's go back to why. Chad, next time I ask you to preview the presentation, look at it. So why should we use natural cleaners? Statistics. All right. I like data. I like cold, hard numbers. They really help us out. Top causes of death in the United States, according to the CDC: heart disease and cancer. So without being a real doctor, I think we can definitely say that we have a problem with what we're exposing ourselves to. We've got some bad food, bad lifestyle choices, and carcinogens. That's what causes cancer. Um, and a little note right here, more babies are aborted annually than the deaths from heart disease annually. So that's a different topic, but just going to throw that out there. It's kind of hidden. So I think we're pretty numb to toxins. Here's a warning posted on the outside of our local Casey store. And I'm going as fast as I can, Dr. Lynn. I promise. Right here, this federal court ordered that such and such tobacco company has to say that, hey, secondhand smoke can cause sudden infant death syndrome, acute respiratory infections, ear problems, severe asthma, and reduced lung function. You know, and honestly, I don't look at that too closely because I'm just used to it. Secondhand smoke is bad for you. But sudden infant death syndrome, can you imagine losing a child? The only reason they put that there is because it's caused it. So let's go inside Casey's. Look at this beautiful coffee maker. I love coffee, okay? And I've got to say, I am not some kosher, I'm better than you person and only do organic. I like a donut. I like Chinese food and I'll eat a cheeseburger too, just not all the time. We try to not be bad all the time. So look at this beautiful coffee maker. It's fun. It grinds those beans. It makes you some fresh coffee. But what's that warning down there? I thought, hey, maybe it's a hot liquid. Let's look closer at what that warning says. Right in every single Casey's USA. This product can expose you to chemicals including BPA and caffeic acid, which are known to the state of California to cause cancer or birth defects. So here's coffee that guarantees to expose you to carcinogens. Drink up. Does anybody not know what an MSDS is? An MSDS, I'm just going to say it, is a material safety data sheet. Okay, and that is basically the government requires you, if you have a company, to have a list of every liquid you have in your facility. And an MSDS is the paper you take to the hospital. Hey, somebody got this on them. Here's the MSDS. Here's how to treat them. Well, the MSDS, there's some for hand sanitizer, and that actually tells you that after use you should rinse your hands because it's not good for your body. It's just a little fun fact. I've read that, watched a video on that. So here's something you can buy in any Walmart USA. This is a high-powered toilet bowl cleaner. And of course, it says to contact poison control if you ingest it or if it's in your eyes. But it actually says to contact poison control if you get it on your skin. Who wants that around their kids or grandkids? They're going to get into it. It's going to happen. As a matter of fact, that crack in it, that's from repeated use. They've put a stress crack in that bottle. One day I picked it up and I was wearing gloves. It went down my arm, so some got on my arm. I rinsed it immediately, but it got on my watch, and I just put that watch in my toolkit, and the next day it was rusted out. Stainless steel watch, gone. So I would ask you this: if safe cleaners are available, do you really want to use this? My answer is no. And my answer to this: have you ever had your kids get into anything? Yes. One day I was at work. My wife texted me. She said, "Well, Ben swallowed a battery." Are you kidding? I stood up from my desk and she said, "Yeah, I found it in his diaper." So thank the Lord, it went through, but we had no idea it was in there. Yeah, but he swallowed one. So we got to keep moving here. Here is a beautiful cleaner. I mean, I would buy that. Look, it's got the sunflower, the lemon. It's so great. Let's take a look at the back. This also says to contact poison control if you read it closely, if it's on the skin. Right there. Call a poison control center or doctor for treatment advice. You know, maybe we won't die, but if we're having these things, like this is what we're rubbing all over our house and expect people to be in contact with. Again, number one cause of death, cancer and heart disease in reverse order. Okay, moving on. This is fun. I'm just showing you packaging. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Look at this, essential oils. I saw this in someone's house and I was like, oh, cool, a natural cleaner. But no, look at this. Take a closer look. It looks like it has essential oils, but if you read the ingredients, there's zero essential oils in it. And look, it says 6 in 1. What do they mean by 6 in 1? It sounds good. Let's read about it. It says it has a premium fragrance. Okay, that means nothing. It eliminates odors. Well, I hope so. It's, spray. It acts in seconds. Seriously? They all act in seconds. This is not unique. It lasts up to an hour. I don't know where they got that idea. And it's propelled by 100% filtered air. And it's inspired by essential oils. My goodness, boy, that's some unique stuff. I don't know. To me, this packaging is hilarious. Yeah, it means nothing. It's inspired by it. I could say I'm inspired by Superman. I can't go fly. Whatever. Okay, let's move on. So even though I use safe natural cleaners, I often use this respirator because people, they will pre-clean before I come to clean. And it's hilarious because I'm filled with fumes. I'm like, guys, don't do that. All right, so moving on. I imagine most of us have been touched by health problems that could possibly be mitigated or avoided. And if you could go back and encourage yourself or someone to make better choices without toxins, I know I would. So here I am, swimming. Let's dive in. Here's some specific info on how to clean the things in your life with less exposure to toxins. So that is an APC, an armored personnel carrier. I bet Aaron's seen one of those before. And when I say APC, I don't mean this. That's an armored personnel carrier. I'd love to have one. I would love to take that to church, but I don't have one. When I say APC, I mean all-purpose cleaner. Okay, we're going to talk about that today. And it's what I use for general purpose cleaning of light messes and, like spot cleaning a carpet. All right. So what is APC, all-purpose cleaner? Where do I get it? So like I said, APC is all-purpose cleaner. I use it for various things. I mix it myself, and you can too. I don't have a secret formula that I'm trying to sell you. I have here samples of what I use, and you can see how awesome it is because it's awesome, and we're going to give it away. But take your pick of a plant-based dish soap, something that has natural ingredients. Put so much in the bottom of a bottle, fill the rest up with water. You have all-purpose cleaner. And I mean, it cuts through anything. I use this on grease. And oh, I have a tougher job today. My whole greasy oven makes it stronger. It works. So that's what I'm using. It's no smoke and mirrors. It's nothing secret. Would I love to market it someday? Sure. If it diversifies my income, I will do that. So where do I get it? I get Natural Grocers. I love Natural Grocers. That place has really helped us out over the years. Like I said, I can adjust the ratio. I mix it up. That's what's here. It's natural dish soap, plant-based dish soap with water. There's more to this than just that. We'll get into that. So auto detail is our bread and butter. Look at that beautiful truck. Yes, good job. You cleaned out the cup holders and the center console. Not every detailer does that. So you're welcome. There's that. So the majority, I just go over this, like the majority of detailing supplies all say, don't breathe this, don't touch this, don't do anything like that. What we use, you can do it. I don't care if my kids lick the car; they're going to anyway. Whether it's, bad cleaners or good, they're gonna get all over it. So I would much rather clean with something that I can trust. And I'm trying to show you it's streak free, it's clean. There's other cleaners that I've struggled with. This does not give me any trouble. So remember, top causes of death: exposure. So here's APC. I sprayed it, in that nice vent. You rub it around, suds go everywhere. And then my secret for getting those vents clean, vacuum that out. Or if you really want to be a cool detailer, blow it out with high pressured air. That's how you get those vents looking like they're from the factory. There's no quick, easy way. You've got to do some work. Okay, how about around the home? This is how you could clean your bar stools. Here's a dirty bar stool. It's got food. There's a baby that's been all over that. It's probably got some barf and stuff. Okay. When you go to clean, when you go to clean fabric on a chair or couch or whatever, you need to look at the tag. The tag is going to tell you if it can be cleaned using liquids. Okay. You want to find a W or a WS, and that means you can clean it completely wet or wet with spot cleaning. Regardless, we don't ever want to soak anything. So if you see W or WS, you're good to go. Okay. Yes. They are supposed to. Most people rip them off. Drives me up the wall. And then even so, they'll leave the tag on there and they don't even list. They'll have clean code and it's blank. Well, thanks a lot, guys. You forgot to put it on there. If you see polyurethane, any man-made product, you can clean it for the most part. What you need to be careful with are like light colors that have like a flower print on them. Those flowers can bleed. So very rare, we're talking like the 1960s, 70s style that really can bleed. So look for the W or the WS. And I'm going to show you how to clean this. Here's your before, here's your after. Yes, it's a little dark because it's damp. When it dries off, that'll be that same light gray as it is here. Just beautiful. So we don't need a crazy cleaner to do this. We're going to show you how to do it. Let's look at it. Step one, we use our APC and we're going to spray it down. Remember, the goal is to get the surface completely covered, but we're not soaking it. If you soak it, mold, mildew, we could have trouble. Don't soak it. All right. So step one, spray it down. Step two, agitate the suds. Just like you brush your teeth. You don't just, put toothpaste in your mouth. You scrub it around. And I like using a drill brush because I find that if I'm using a brush all day, my arms wear out and I got to go see Dr. Lynn Moore. And I like seeing him, but I don't like, yeah, it's a long way. So I am serious. Get yourself a drill with a drill brush. If you really want to clean your stuff at home, get a drill brush and run that back and forth over it. You don't need to push crazy hard. We're just spreading the soap around, okay? So we sprayed it, we scrubbed it, and now we get our extractor. I like the Bissell. You've seen the spot cleans for pets and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, that's the best thing to clean this up. Say you don't have one, or you don't want to spend the 150 or so many dollars to buy one, get a good clean towel. It'll do almost as good. But I really think you should get a spot cleaner if you're going to clean these. Any professional is not going to be going in there with a towel. But I like that Spot Clean Pro, the model 3624, because it has survived a lot of cleaning jobs. So we extract with that. And this here is saying that you can get cleaning agents. I don't use them. And any pro in the industry that I've talked to says, don't put those cleaners in them. It's a waste. They're just selling you some extra stuff. That soap on that fabric ahead of time is really what's cleaning. So extract that surface. So we soap, agitate, extract, and then I want to start that drying process, help that fabric start drying. So I'm going to run that rag over it as much as I can. I'm just looking to see if I missed a spot. But if you don't dry it well enough, say you spilled 2 gallons of coffee on that cushion and most of it went off, but some went down inside, there's still some inside. And if you clean this top cushion and it's clean, guess what? It's ready to suck up something underneath it and you can have wicking. And so if you over soak stuff, you will have a mess come back up. You need it to be dry and clean and dry. So that's that. We'll move on from there. Step 5, enjoy your clean fabric. Look at that. And it's all clean. I don't know. You think how happy you were the day you brought that home from, where do you get that? IKEA with 1,000 instructions. So there it is, all clean. Then you can put an air freshener on it. And speaking of air fresheners, this is my favorite one. Natural Grocers Air Sense, completely plant-based. There's no propellant. It's just a little pump sprayer on top. And I like using that because it's fast. I know a lot of people think that, hey, I bet he's mixing up essential oils to get smell goods. I don't have time. Time is money. I would like to do that, but this is the best balance between natural and speed for me. So I go and get that. And if you're in the business and you want people to be happy, spray the heck out of that. Even the moment you start cleaning, because if they bebop back in the house and they're like, oh, how's it going? Oh, it's already smelling amazing. That first impression thing counts a lot. So another use of APC is like a windowsill. I would vacuum that out with a crevice tool from my vacuum first. I'd spray APC in there, and then I would agitate it with a brush and wipe it out with a cloth. And you detail people see that I missed that part on the end. That bothers me too. But you can see this is just, I'm showing you a variety of uses for this. It doesn't stain. You can use it all over the place. Fridge, put that APC on a rag, wipe it down. You get those results. And quick, dish soap with water, plant-based. It's real easy. I don't have 1,000 cleaners. I have like 3, maybe 4. No, there's so many. I take pictures of everything. And part of that is because you never know someone, like with a car, you take before and after pictures. And then a week later, someone hits a shopping cart in their car. I can prove I didn't do that because I got the pictures. So, but yeah, I take pictures of everything because that's how I sell our business. All right. I don't know if you can see that spot. A dog peed right there. Here's spot cleaning a carpet. This is not a huge stain. I've cleaned much bigger ones, but this is again use of APC in a real world situation. There's your spot. We spray it with the APC, and then we agitate with a brush, and then we use our extractor to suck it out, and it's getting clean already. And once again, if you didn't have that extractor, you could use a towel. Use a light colored one. You can really see the gunk coming out. You might want to throw the towel out afterwards. Um, and then start drying it. And that's it. It's real simple. So all good to go there. And I guess, man, I used my 30 minutes already. Wow, Dr. Lynn. We better speed it up. Okay. What's that? All right. All right. So, okay, I'll go quickly through this. Say you've got a lot of pet stains. Your cat went over and over and over. Get yourself some enzymes. Most of these are plant-based around the world anyway. This is my favorite brand, BioClean from Natural Grocers. Spray that on the urine. It's going to take care of the smell. You can clean that stain so it looks good, but oftentimes there's smell deep in the carpet. Get enzymes. Follow the directions. You're going to be good. This is my favorite pump sprayer. That saves me from subluxations on my hands. My tendons wear out. So I get a pump sprayer. I like that Scott's brand. It's made in USA, comes with a warranty. Let's talk about cleaning toilets. That's a legit toilet that I've cleaned. Check this out. Before, after. Look at that. Come on, check that out. Yes? Very good. This is good. Okay, now we're going to talk about our other cleaning agent that we use, and that is uh, that same dish soap mixed with vinegar. I don't cut it with water. Same amount of dish soap in the bottom, add that 5% vinegar. Okay, so clean the outside of your toilet, and I can tell you all about that. It's all in this presentation. But the big thing that I want to tell you is that we let that vinegar sit on there for like 5 minutes. It starts to break down the buildup. Okay, and this after scrubbing it, it might look something like that. And you can see there's still like hard water stuff. And the way that I get that off is with, here's your final look at it, a pumice stone. Some people have heard of those, some people haven't. Walmart carries them. A lot of hardware stores carry them. Go get a pumice stone. Pumice is from the earth. It's a natural stone, and it will not scratch your toilet. Yeah, keep it wet. Once it's wet, it will not scratch because it breaks down and creates a paste. If you threw it at the wall, it's going to mark the wall. But keep it wet, and it'll clean like everything. So pumice stone is the secret weapon. That is one of the biggest secrets I have. Go get a pumice stone. Um, if there's extreme calcium buildup, go get a plastic razor. You can start scraping that off, and you'll save yourself a lot of effort. Here I am in the bottom of a toilet. I've seen it almost a centimeter thick, and that just starts to cut it right off with this plastic razor. Why plastic? It won't scratch the toilet. Go to an auto parts store. You can get a plastic razor. Here is shower glass. Can it be saved? The person who hired me didn't think that I could, and they tried all kinds of chemical cleaners. And we're looking through the glass. Look at that. Before, after. Okay, a few minutes. So this stuff is real. It works. And how do I do it? Spray that vinegar soap on there. That soap, you know why it's there? To make that vinegar stick. If you just had vinegar, it just runs down that glass. That soap makes it stay on there. Spray it on there. Keep it on there for 5 minutes. Scrub that with a sponge with a little bit of pumice powder on that sponge, and it'll cut right through that. Rinse it off. You got any spots left? Do it again. You're done. So vinegar and soap, a little bit of pumice on a sponge, and it'll cut. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they were happy. They were selling the house, and they were very thrilled. So, okay, shower floor. We'll move through this real quick. Remove the stuff. I take a pumice stone, break it in half, and then I rub the pieces together. This powder falls down. And I could probably buy pumice powder already, but I like those stones because I can use them on the toilet. And then if I want powder, I got it. So I put the powder on the bottom of that shower, and then I spray it with more vinegar, and then I use the drill brush. And that's kind of loud, so it's hard on your ears. Wear your ear protection, but that will get your floor. Oh, I didn't have the final photo, but it's shining white. Okay. Don't forget about the drains. Clean those out. There's a bunch of hair I removed. So really gross, but look, afterwards, you get that vinegar and soap, scrub it around. You're good. That vinegar is just a great cleaner. So this is how you get wine stains out. Bissell just came out with a steam cleaner. Nothing cleans wine stains out better than that thing. So I recommend that. $200 investment though. So if you drink wine, get it. If you don't, okay. But that thing does clean grout better than anything else. Also, that steam saves you from having to scrub. So try some steam on your grout. It really does a really good job. Here is grout juice, just from a little bit, and it just cleans it beautifully. So okay, again, this right here is what I showed in one of the earlier slides. Pumice broken up on a sponge, spray it with vinegar and soap, rub it on there, preferably after letting vinegar sit on there for a while, and it'll clean right up. We go from this to that. Life is good. Rings in the sink, same deal. We're going to let vinegar soak on it. There's your before, there's your after. I didn't crack the sink, okay? They did that. You can see that crack on there. But look at that. That's good. Let the vinegar sit, come back, scrub it. You're good. Pumice if you really need it, that powder. So we're back to the scene, or back to my goofy stove. I mean, it's really, I think I'm basically out of time, but I mean, we vacuum this, we spray it, we wipe it. I'm just showing you that these cleaners do work. Underneath, vacuum up as much as you can, spray it, let it sit on there for a few minutes, wipe it off. You're good. And there you go. Last note here. Carlene is this beautiful carpet cleaner. We gave her eyes and a wig just to be goofy. I don't take her with the wig to places, but she cleans carpets good. Look at this. She cleans it up real good. So spray the floor with APC. Get that pump sprayer. Just get it damp. Let it sit for a few minutes. Run that unit over it. It'll come with instructions. That's basically what you'd rent from the store, or you can go buy one. It's a $500 investment. You can start making money off of your neighbors. So that's what was in a carpet recently. I'm just showing you that even after you vacuum them, they contain a lot of stuff. Cleaning the outside of your windows is very important to get those plenty wet. And then I use a squeegee to get the big stuff off. And then follow up, if they're really bad, pumice on a sponge. Make sure it's wet. If it's dry, you're scratching things. Don't do that. So after, yay, there he is. Holy cow. Another one, really bad sticky stuff. Pumice on a sponge with vinegar all over that window, and we got it clean. So there's that. Steam. Here's some secret tools, and we're basically done. Pumice stones. We went over that. Steam cleaners. You got gum or candy in your car or in your life or wherever. Get a steam cleaner. It'll melt it right out, and you can just wipe it up. Squeegee for your shower and glass. That really saves you on a million paper towels. If you have a dirty minivan, light it on fire. I hate cleaning those things. Those are terrible. So get a match and some gasoline. A shop vac I use all the time. We had a sewer backup and the shop vac got used. Get yourself some plastic and metal razors, an extra long duster. If I wanted to dust in here, I have a duster long enough for it. And then I like the milk crates from Walmart. They're like $7. They're made in America. You can put anything in them and they stack. So all my stuff is in those wonderful milk crates. So I have a little thing, a little plug for Jesus right here. Life on earth will end. And I just wanted to let you guys know, in this crazy correlation to chemical versus natural, many people are investing desperately in human cryogenic freezers. Rich people are putting themselves in the freezer because they think that one day they might get resurrected if medical science goes that far. And my point is that I think that the natural way to heaven, the way that God made it, is the better way to go. So so there is that. That's kind of a last thing there. We got, for me, big day coming up here. Easter, Resurrection Sunday is coming up. So for believers, I say, increase your faith, read your Bible, and that's it. We're out of time.
Right on. Wow, you just
Cool.
made it in under the
Yeah, right?
other side. That was it.
No, I think that's it. There you
So,
go.
guys, we planned this being 45 minutes. We have about 7 minutes time for questions. We covered a lot of stuff. Do you have any questions about specific things in your house or whatever? We'll distribute this at the end. Take home with you. Great.
Did you say on those really hard deposits on the outside of windows
Mhm.
that you use the one with vinegar?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
So how do you decide whether you're going to use the one with just soap or the one with soap and vinegar?
If it's just a little dirt, that APC is fine. And but if you see anything sticky or just anything more than just a little bit of dirt, that really cuts it. Grease, the vinegar seems to cut really good. But hard water deposits, for sure, get that vinegar out. It's really a big deal. So I like that. But
Question of vinegar.
yeah.
In the store, it'll say 5% vinegar, that's for food.
Uh-huh.
The other day in one of the stores, I saw cleansing vinegar down in with the other vinegars. You do not want to buy cleansing vinegar for food items, I wouldn't think.
I don't know about cleansing vinegar. I have seen cleaning vinegar, cleansing vinegar, and then the 5% cooking. I just use the 5%. And
5% what you use.
yeah,
Okay.
yep. Yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna say, I know the 5% vinegar is needed for canning.
Is it really?
Yeah.
See?
If it's less than 5%, then canning will not
Interesting.
be good.
See, I'm learning now. Next time you can have a presentation on canning. This is good.
Lori, you go for it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good info. So, yeah, I don't claim to have all the answers. This is just what I like. Yes,
Do you have a ratio of your,
I wish I did. For me, so many times I'm trying to get like 3 jobs done in a day and I'm flying. I do know that in your classic full-size spray bottle, that much soap in the bottom, so almost an inch, probably a little less for sure, actually. And then I fill the rest up with vinegar or water.
Like a 20-ounce bottle?
Full size, like what you'd see an industrial cleaning bottle. So like in these here, I should be more organized. And you know what? If I go to market the stuff someday, I'll be more organized.
So vinegar and water, half and half, basically.
I'll tell you what, in that vinegar cleaner, I'm cutting through so much calcium that I just put straight vinegar. Soap, vinegar. Now, if you don't like the smell, which a lot of people don't, I understand that, you could probably cut it with that. I just wouldn't expect it to be quite as fast at cleaning.
I know with vinegar, sometimes you'll see in the store vinegar 4%,
Uh-huh.
vinegar 5%. I will say this, she has to know that don't remember. In canning, your pickles will fail if you did things. You have to use at least 5% vinegar in canning pickles.
Isn't that interesting?
You'll get a lot.
Okay. I love pickles.
4% is the plum. It has to be 5% in canning.
Okay. So if ever I have a pickle I don't like, I'm going to say that's a 4% pickle. That's junk. How good. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you all listening to my spiel. I don't have 15 years of experience, but I do know what's worked for the last 3 or so. So appreciate it. Yes, sir.
So on the big sprayer,
Mm-hmm.
you don't dump a whole.
No, I don't put a whole thing in there. But again, kind of a similar idea. A solid inch. Because the funny thing about that is you have to leave air. You're never supposed to fill those all the way. Like the fill points up here, And like for that carpet cleaner, when I'm sucking that out of there, if I have too many suds in that dirty tank, I know I put too strong of a mixture down. And so about almost an inch.
So do you for the carpet,
Mhm.
you spray it on the carpet?
Yes, letting that soften up all the mess is a big deal. That's the biggest deal.
Do you have a card for your service?
I sure do. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you some. So I'm glad you asked. So sweet.
Can we tell what we have here? Are there differences in this?
Yeah, so we have APC, the all-purpose cleaner, which is the natural dish soap. Yeah, is this off? Sweet. Shut it off.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.